With the emergence of COVID-19, which was declared a national pandemic, came the disruption of daily life through governmental enforced lockdowns, the closure of public areas, and higher rates of mortality. Literature has emerged from a few affected countries which may not necessarily reflect the experiences of children and young people within the UK. We have therefore explored children and young people's responses to the pandemic by reviewing psychological studies related to loss, change, community tragedies, and previous pandemics. Our findings highlighted 10 key themes.
Some children and young people may be affected psychologically by the impact of COVID-19. For example, they may experience irritability, poor sleep, and poor appetite. Those with pre-existing conditions may be placed at a higher risk of being impacted psychologically by COVID-19. For example, those with obsessive compulsive disorder or OCD, or those with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder or ADHD. Young people were concerned about the loss of things such as educational opportunities, relationships, and security. Young people also highlighted several support strategies that they found to be helpful in supporting their mental well-being, with the least helpful being the news and social media. The use of social media has not always been positive in enforcing feelings of connectedness. Researchers highlighted the importance of schools giving out correct information and educating children and young people around the negative sides of social media. Researchers highlighted that the term social distancing may cause pandemic-associated bullying and children and young people to be conscious of socialising. A more appropriate term might be physical distancing.
Research shows that during a national crisis, all children may respond differently. Some may block out what's happening, and some may appear to cope well. Whilst research suggests that young people are excited to return to school to see their peers and teachers, it is also important to remember that it may be difficult for some, as extended periods away from school can reduce the ability to focus for long periods of time. The well-being and additional support for both staff and parents should be considered when thinking about a child's response to the pandemic. Teachers may be concerned that children will be required to work more independently and faster than they have been at home, and additionally, those using strategies such as denial and pretending all is okay do not provide opportunities for children to address their worries. As we know, COVID-19 has affected the routines of many young people. Routine has been found to be extremely important when regulating behaviours through compulsory opportunities, reducing calorie intake and screen time, as well as regulating sleep patterns. Potential protective factors have been identified within the review that may support readjustment, for example, a child's resilience. Research suggests that children and young people may feel ignored, embarrassed, isolated, uncertain, and different when returning to school after a bereavement or loss. Teachers may be unsure about how to speak to children about their loss, causing them to avoid the topic and deny the child the opportunity to speak about it. Research suggests the inclusion of loss education to teach pupils about experiencing loss and how to express their emotions may be beneficial.
From these findings, it can be understood that children and young people will all respond in different ways to the pandemic. Throughout the literature review, we suggest strategies for schools to implement to support pupils returning back to school. If you'd like a copy of the whole literature review, then please message us on Twitter and we are more than happy to send you a copy to read.